In this video, we're going to have a look at creating a chat in Microsoft Teams. So nice and easily, I'm in the chat section at the moment, but you'll see all over Teams in the top bar, there is a box with a pencil going into it, and I'm hovering over it right now. When I click on that, I can just create a chat, and this is the easiest way to create a group chat because I can name it as I'm going on, but I'm going to start with an individual chat so you can see how you can move from a one-on-one conversation to a group conversation. I'm just going to start typing in someone's name. I've got a couple of guests in my tenant, so I'm going to click on Donna Smith and add Donna to the conversation within Microsoft Teams. And then I'm just going to come down to the bottom and I'm going to start it. Because at the moment, this isn't a chat until I've sent a message to Donna. All I've done at the moment is selected her name. So I'm just going to send Donna a message. You'll see as soon as that's there, I have all of my files and tabs at the top and my ways of communicating with Donna, initially by audio or visual call, share my screen, and also then I can see a little bit of information about pop out, and I've got 2 people with a plus. So I can have a great conversation with Donna. We can share documents, I can add numerous tabs to this chat, and we can really collaborate very well. But if we want to bring someone else into this conversation, I need to click where it says add people. And just there, I've got the option to add someone. So I'm going to add Daniel into this conversation and click on him. And then I'm going to click on add and see what happens. So what's happened, if you look on the left-hand side there, I've got my chat with Donna, and now I've got a new chat with Daniel and Donna together. So the concept of this is one-on-one conversations are private. The conversation I'm having with Donna is private. If I want to bring Daniel into the conversation, it's a brand new conversation with the 3 of us. So everything that's happened before Daniel came in is separate, and I'm now in a new conversation with Donna and Daniel. So I'm just gonna might be a project I'm working on. I'm just going to send them a message, and that's started a second chat conversation with 2 people. Let's just have a look and see again the top bar what's going on here. So because there's multiple people in this conversation, I've now got a pencil. Let's click and see what the pencil does. So this allows me to change the name. So I'm not remembering who's in the group. It might be about a specific project or team or social aspect I'm having a conversation about. Project here, I'm always going to remember my capitals. Click on save, and it just means it's much easier to view. I've still got all of my tabs. I can still start a conversation. But now just let's have a look what happens, because now if I click on people, I can see all of the people within this chat. I can leave because it's a group conversation, and I can also add people. And I just want to show you finally what happens when you add people. Because I'm not in a one-on-one conversation anymore, this isn't private. There's 3 of us in the conversation. So if I want to bring another person in, I now have different options. And this is a really nice bit of functionality within Teams. Because I can select between not including any history, so they don't see any previous chats. I can include everything, so they see all of the details. Or I can include a certain number of days of detail. So I've got some nice options there to select when I'm adding my 4th person to this conversation. Whatever I select here is what sticks. So if I've selected do not include chat history and I want them to see it, I would have to remove them and re-add them with the right permissions. And you'd remove someone really nicely just by hovering over them, and you can see you've got a cross to remove someone. Once you add them back in, you can choose the correct permissions so they cannot see or see all of that great information. So you can see there the difference between creating an individual chat and moving from 2 to 3 people, and then what happens when you've got at least 3 people in the chat. It's a total different ball game. It's not private anymore. You can add people, but what's really great is you can choose the permissions and what they can see, which I just think works really well. And don't forget to rename your group chats as well so they make more sense to you. Because just like in the previous recordings I've done for this one, you can hide these chats if you've had enough of them. You could leave them, but you might want to stay in them and keep some of that information, but you might want to hide them. And then I just need to use the name of the chat. So for example, Project A, to search in the top bar, and I would refine that chat again. So a nice way of finding your conversation. So name it something that makes sense for the conversation and the information you're going to talk about within this chat. Have a go and see how you get on with group and individual chats.